Welcome to the Affiliate Mastery Podcast, a show about making money online and mastering the affiliate game. Your host, Frank Chen. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Affiliate Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Chen, and today we're going to be talking about what personality type is best for an affiliate manager and how to use the predictive index to determine that person. We've got a lot of cool stuff to cover today, and let's dive on in. Now, if you don't know what the predictive index is, this is something that I've stumbled across after joining a mastermind. And it's basically a very high-level way of hiring the right people based around specific personality traits. And they walk you through a very specific process, and people compare it to DISC and other personality, and everybody swears by their own. But this has been proven and used by Fortune 500 companies. It's one of the only ways companies can fire or hire, which apparently is based on others, considered discrimination. But based on the PI, it's all based on, do you fit this role or not? It does not matter race, color, sex, gender, any of that stuff. It's all based on very specific data points that they reference, okay? Now, I'm not the professional in this. There are professionals that I work with that help me. I just want to bring a little bit more attention because this is a phenomenal tool if you're looking to hire the right people in your business. Something I learned very early on in this year when I started my business is I fell into coaching and training. And a lot of the times, if you're in that business, you don't always get to choose who you're coaching. And as you know, some people are just a lot easier to coach than others. And if it was up to us and we had specific requirements and metrics and who we can choose and who we want to coach, we of course have a very ideal client. I believe that's the case when it comes to building your team, is that a lot of the times we struggle with shifting people around in our business that may not be the best fit for that role. And in essence, it creates more work for us. And at the same time, it creates the quality of work they do that much more variable, right? So what we're trying to do and accomplish here is to find the right person to fit the role. And in this case, it's your affiliate manager. A lot of the times, people ask, Frank, how do I work directly with you? And what I'm trying to do with my business is scale. And you can't scale a business that's 100% involves you to service every single one of your clients, right? So I have to figure out, how do I hire someone that has my type of skills that I can train up? And that's how the Affiliate Incubator was actually born, is trying to train someone on other people's teams to do what I do. And as I said before, it didn't always work out. So I'm trying to figure out a new way to make this even better for my clients by just training the people on my team and then implanting them in your business. So that's been working out pretty well. I've been kind of beta testing it here and there with a few of my clients, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So I'm going to go deeper and deeper and kind of include you guys on this process, what I've learned, how you can rip this off, and hopefully you can apply this in your business when hiring an affiliate manager. And if you need them to be trained by me, I'd be more than happy to. We do have trainings for that inside the affiliateincubator.com. You can go check that out. It's your all-in-one solution for training your affiliate manager, the education, if you need consulting in your business. And of course, it's specific to real estate investors and people who own real estate softwares or anybody in the event space, all things real estate, okay? Now, hopefully on today's show, I can shed light on a few misconceptions that are perceived by this job and, of course, protect you from making some of the mistakes that I've made while growing my business this year. Now, I'm going to go ahead and dive into Predictive Index. Again, in case you don't know what it is, they break it down to profiles. So you have your analytical profile, your persistent profiles, social profiles, and stabilizing profiles. Again, I'm not an expert, so I can't really take you guys into each of these. If you go to predictiveindex.com, it tells you, it's a very beautiful website, and tells you everything you need to know about what they do and how they categorize personalities, okay? Now, I am an altruist, and we're gonna dive into that a little bit more on what all that means, because again, if you've ever asked the question, how do I work with people like you, Frank? We're gonna go through that, and you're gonna be pleasantly surprised how accurate these things are. And all I did was take a simple 50-question survey, and it spit out all these other things about me that I was just quite mind blown on. And what's really cool about this service is you'll actually have a representative that sits you down and will read this to you, and they'll know nothing about you, but through this profile, it'll be like they've known you for your whole life. And that's kind of the way it is. Okay, so I'm an altruist. In my mastermind, if you're a business owner, you're kind of a in our industry we call high A, you're considered like a maverick or a captain. Okay, these are the people who are, high personalities, need things done their way. That's how they start a business. Altruists, for me, we fall into these positions. We work usually under a maverick or a captain, or work in collaboration with them. But there are a lot of roles like collaborators, persuaders, and promoters. Those are the two people that I brought onto my team before. I'll tell you guys a little bit insight on that as well. Adapter, craftsman, guardian, operator, under stabilize. So again, don't want to spend too much time here. Just know that I'm an altruist. The people that I've hired before are persuader and promoter. And I'll bring in someone else recently that I'm actually just having a predictive index done today. And I'll update you guys on that on socials on what she is. And I'm actually hoping to groom her up to kind of take on more responsibility. And again, it's always been my job to replace myself so I can really service my other clients at a much higher level. As you guys know, building a business kind of in the day-to-day, it's really, really hard to grow your business when you're trying to make sure everything is working correctly for your existing client. So trying to figure that out so I can expand my message. And that's the whole purpose behind today's podcast. Okay, so here we go. So let's kind of dive into the qualities of an altruist, without getting into the details yet. Really what you need for this role is good communication skills, a hunger and drive, because a lot of time it's kind of mixed with commissions. So they kind of eat what you kill kind of personality. I will say it's not ideal for a salesperson. And when I read through my predictive index, you'll know why, okay? The next thing is perseverance, okay? They're not fazed by a no or a rejection. I get rejected all the time. I'm used to it. My dating life warmed me up to it. But with trying to get products out to affiliates, trying to attract new business, it takes a lot of conversations, and you probably have a 10, 20, 30% success rate. It gets better and better as you build more relationships, but it's very difficult starting out. So you need someone with thick skin. They have also a willingness to follow up, which ultimately leads to being organized, okay? That's what I would say the essential roles are to this person. Is good communication skills, they're organized, they're willing to follow up, and then we're going to get into some of the more nuanced details as we go through my predictive index. Now, if done correctly, I'll show you exactly what my predictive index looks like over here. I'm new to this editing. We're building out a team there as well, but for now, altruist, that's what my PI looks like. Without getting into the exact details of what A, B, C, and D means, we're actually going to go into the actual summary of my profile. Okay, now it's broken down to my strongest behaviors, a summary of my overall profile, the type of management style that I typically like to typically work under, my personal selling style, and then management strategies for a person if they were going to manage my role. Well, since I'm the CEO on top of my business, I don't have anybody management, but this just allows me to become more self-aware. Now, I understand for a lot of people who take this test, they might think, well, duh, I know this stuff about myself. I challenge you to read this from a objective standpoint and kind of look at it from a third person. If I was looking down on myself, do I see these as weaknesses or strengths, and can I improve on these processes? But I'm reading through this to let you guys know what this role kind of entails, so you can look for that type of person. If you would like a job description created specifically for this role, I'm actually doing that right now through Humanlytics. You can do that on your own, or you can reach out to me. But you'll have a much, much, much better experience going through them, okay? Mine's just the final product, but that means nothing to you unless you know how we got there. And that's kind of just an insight to what we're talking about today. So in terms of my strongest behaviors, sorry if you guys hear a little bit of lawn work going on. I'm recording this in the middle of the day, and they're out there doing yard work. Gotta love the landscapers. Anyways, back to the strongest behaviors, okay? While moderate, I'm just gonna read this to you real quick. Frank will most strongly express the following behaviors. First of all, relatively quick in connecting with others, reasonably open in sharing, builds and leverages relationships to get work done. If you know who I am, I do that very heavily. Next is fluent, enthusiastic, and comparatively frequent in communication. They're a motivator who pays attention to others' points of views, okay? Now, this is a very political position. I work with very polar clients, people who are red, blue, green, white, black, gray, white. Everybody has a strong opinion. They're mavericks, they're captains. I always tell my incubees that you guys are a filter for your client. Funnel their anger, funnel their strong opinions through your filter and portray it in a kind of playful, in a more accepting way. So it's really important that you guys know how to play, this person in this role knows how to pay attention to their surroundings and understanding how to read the room, kind of a thing, okay? Next is collaborative, works with and through others, and focused on team cohesion, dynamics, and interpersonal relations. Again, I've always said that this role is about business development, right? There's a lot of people interaction. You have to be able to navigate conversations and guide people to an end result. That takes skill and that takes effort. And sometimes that skill is an innate skill. Yes, you can train up to it, but again, the more you got to train, the more time that takes. Hopefully I can get you guys straight over to the right person. And next is focus on operational efficiencies. I'm all about efficiencies, and it thinks about what needs to be done and how it can be done quickly without losing quality. Impatient with routines. Very accurate. You can't keep me in a box. No one puts baby in a corner, right? I love efficiencies. That's a big part of my business, is going into other people's business and figuring out the redundancies in their affiliate programs, their follow-up, and removing them, right? I'm not really big on routines. I do like structure, but routine bores me, okay? I like to do something new. That's why I like talking to new people all the time, scheduling my meetings. And I always want to make sure that the work I put out is the highest of quality because it's a representation of my reputation, okay? A representation of my reputation, okay? Now, I don't have to read the summary for you. It's more of like a boasting style of what you are. I'm going to go read more through management styles. And as a manager of people or projects, Frank will be proactive in bringing the team together to complete work by the book, right? As long as I have structure and parameters to work within, I typically work within those parameters with accepted standards and policies and on time, right? Deliverability is deliverables on time with deadlines is very important for this role. Also, an enthusiastic and outgoing team player, and this one speaks very true to this role and why I think an altruist is perfect, is that they're motivated to work with and through others to achieve the company's goal. Now, if you're more likely working with me, I'm always going to encourage you to start building a team around you. This is not a one person wears multiple hats kind of role. This is definitely multiple people wearing singular hats. So this person's definitely gonna be product managing and working with your team, okay? So they need to be able to work well with people. I'm also cautious when delegating and takes pride in the work and is anxious to do things right. I do have quite a bit of anxiety, but that's always because I put a lot of pressure on myself to do as good as I can. Again, my reputation is my currency. So when they delegate, so follow-up will be quick, congenial, and constructive, ensuring that procedures have been followed, standards have been met, and direct reports are positive about the experience. Collaborative in approach, and eager to gather input from others whose viewpoints are valued. Frank will, however, be unlikely to go against accepted policies or higher authority. Sort of true, not true. Again, this is not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. I accept policies and I can accept authority, but I am all about earning my respect now more than before, where I was more of a student. Now I'm a teacher, always a student, but more now in my role. I've had to learn to take more authority in my role so people would take me seriously, right? I can't always be beta to an alpha because then they'll never take me seriously or do anything I say. Therefore, I'm not able to influence them to get the result they want if they're not going to listen to me, right? So that's also shown in my predictive index. which was actually brought to my attention during my mastermind. It's like, Frank, are you ever uncomfortable with difficult conversations or, what we call flexing my A, which is being assertive, I was. And when that was brought to my attention, I immediately addressed it, and now I can move that A when I need to, when it counts. That may not make sense to you unless you're read the predictive index, but ideally the whole lesson learned here is that it shows you where you're weak or maybe why you struggle in your business. So you can stop trying to create excuses for it, name it, and fix it and move on, okay? Especially if you're a business owner, we don't have the time to make excuses for our weaknesses. We either hire it out or acknowledge it and get better at it, period, right? Moving on, keenly interested in development of others. That's created my Incubator. Is enthusiastic coach or trainer. That's awesome to hear. And conscientious communicator of the company vision. And that's actually part of my training too, is I always tell the people who are about to hire an affiliate manager to be ultimately crystal clear on your culture and your vision, because you're going to be able to keep your affiliate manager longer when these two things are very, very clear, okay? I struggled with this in the beginning where I didn't really have that culture or even that clear vision, and you can't expect people that work for you to create it on their own. They're here to follow their leader, so they need that clear vision. I had that when I was coming up in this space, okay? So definitely have that really dialed in before hiring this role. And of course, respectful of authority and considerate of others, and focus is on the job at hand, which is taken very seriously. When you're working with lists of 100K, you have one promotion in a month, we have to generate 50 to 100,000 in sales. You can't afford to make mistakes, errors in emails, landing pages, registration processes, follow-up, campaigns. There's a lot of moving parts. And unfortunately, just one of these mistakes can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So yes, I take this role very seriously. I make commissions off this way. I help my clients make and hit their goals this way. So yes, find someone who actually cares and will be invested in this position, not just a stepping stone, okay? The next thing is selling style. Now, this is where things get kind of interesting. I was actually pretty surprised when I'd read this, but as a salesperson, and that's also part of this role, you're biz dev, and you also do a bit of sales. I have to highlight what's beneficial of my client products and services and attract affiliates through the right things, right? Saying the right things, understanding their needs and problems so I can bring a solution to them. This takes a little of communication ninja moves, right? So as a sales position, Convivial and Persuasive will utilize effective and stimulating style to build a solid, trusted relationship with customers. One of the things I love doing is connecting with people on a much personal level, interests, hobbies. That's a big reason why I join people's Facebooks, is that you have a little dive into their life and I can pull this, hey, I saw you were recently here, or hey, I hear that you love tequila. That's one of my clients. I love tequila as well, so it's not just I'm pretending. I find common interest and common ground to break ice with, because most people who approach these positions immediately jump right into business conversations, right? I like to build rapport, take interest in their lives first, tear down their wall so we can actually start having more open conversations and get to a win-win solution much faster, okay? So that was so accurate. I just had to go deeper on that. Next, composed and thorough when representing products when they are a consummate expert, right? So someone who's able to consume this information and actually share it as if they were the expert. And I always tell my clients, as well as the people in my incubator, you need to be as well versed in the product as the person who created it, right? And just with my first few trainings in my course, we talk about that, right? Understanding your product research, R&D, knowing every aspect of the product, returns, refunds, success rates, what does it do, what does it not do, a full understanding, because they're essentially representing you on the biz dev side. So you no longer have to do these appointments and explain the same elevator pitch over and over. They go out there and do it for you. And of course, like a sales role, the more they do it, the better they get at it. Next, warm and sincere with customers, eager to understand their needs and help them by providing tailored, proven solutions that are within the accepted allowance and without over committing. Proven solutions that are within the accepted allowance and without over committing. Basically, setting clear expectations. This is something that I wasn't incredibly strong at before, but it was in me. And thanks to some good mentors, we were able to bring a lot more attention to that skill. So definitely someone who understands how to set clear expectations with customers or their clients. That way, you guys aren't putting your foot in the mouth and shooting yourself in the foot later on during your promotions, which it does happen when people do not have that attention to detail. All right. This next one is what I was talking about before regarding a salesperson for this role. Most of you are thinking, yeah, sales. Hungry, like shark-like salespeople are great for the sales floor, cold calling. But for a role like this, it needs a little bit more tact. Right here it says, reluctant to push or pressure a prospect. I see that more of as like a pro and con, but in our space, less pressure is better. The more pressure, the less response rates you're going to get. These are people who are wearing shorts and t-shirts running their businesses. It's low pressure, high fun. They don't want people, knocking at their door, texting them, messaging them, emailing them, follow-ups all the time. It's not going to get you where you need to be. Okay. So you need that flexibility. And willing to thoroughly answer questions and provide detailed information before rushing to close. I do this in my own business. I do this for my clients. This is a process where information gains the respect and trust, know, like, and trust factors of your affiliates, okay? Pushing to the close, flashing numbers, telling this the next best thing is sliced bread. They got to do it because so many affiliates are doing it, again, is not the way to approach this role. So someone's more low pressure, high touch is going to be a good person for this, okay? Next is comfortable and confident with proven, well-known techniques, reluctant to change unless given good reason, proper training and specific guidelines. This one, I got to shout out to my wife. She called me out years ago for this, which is my reluctance for change. I'm very comfortable with existing processes, things that work, but testing and trying different things takes me really out of my comfort zone. But thankfully, because I know this, I'm able to get out of it now. But for this role specifically, this is why it's very important to have solid training and very clear monthly, weekly, quarterly goals, because a person like me or an altruist will fit perfectly into these parameters, okay? And then, of course, generally liked and trusted by clients in repeated contact, adept in maintaining a growing, productive business relationship. Very, very important, right? My entire business is based on my network and my relationships. And I feel so blessed that I have so many good ones, but I did not get here overnight. It took me 12 years, a lot of masterminds, a lot of events, a lot of face-to-face, shaking hands, getting drinks, having lunch to get here. But someone who loves and enjoys doing that, this will be a breeze. It's like breathing air to them, okay? And then management strategies. Now, to maximize effectiveness, productivity, and job satisfaction, consider providing Frank with the following. Again, since I don't have a manager, this is just for me to become a little bit more self-aware, is to have clear, specific descriptions of the job with duties, responsibilities, and organizational relationships clearly defined, right? So I've had to do this in my own business as I train others so they actually know exactly what I expect of them and what they need to deliver to me, right? Opportunities to learn everything that's needed to know about the job. I've said this time and time again in my training as well. The reason why I've been able to do and where I'm in this unique position is because I've had mentors who brought me into every aspect of their business, the lead side, the advertising side, the marketing side, the emails, the products, everything, product creation, events, coaching, all of it. Therefore, I'm not just specific to webinars and video sales letters, right? So the more you can encourage them to or bring them into the fold, the longer they're going to stay because now they're more invested in the business, okay? Now, the support and help of management, subject matter experts, or trusted advisors when working outside their area of expertise, meaning if you're able to invest in this person, bring them a coach, send them to a mastermind with you, start getting more encompassed in the business from a much higher level, they will get better at this job, okay? It shows that you're investing in them. I was making like $35,000 a year while people were pouring into me, and I got the concept. I got to earn while I learned. This was priceless information that I would never give up in a million years. So someone like me, hopefully, will see that And I hope that means something to you as well, okay? Freedom from repetition. Again, parameters are good, but allow them to free think. Allow them to try, provide, and give you ideas. Get creative and tap into that part of their genius. That is something that I was constantly struggling with when I was a employee or an unknown employee at 1099 for some of these people's company, but I was falling victim to what they needed me to do. They never really allowed me to think beyond that until I transitioned into more of a consultant role where people now listen to what I have to say because of the track record that I've been able to accrue, right? So freedom from repetition is huge. General assurance of security, respect, and appreciation of the work, right? Words of affirmation. I think people just like to be acknowledged when their efforts are known or seen. That's what we say. The 7 love languages, mine is words of affirmation are important. So general assurance of security. People just need to know that they're doing a good job, right? And of course, if you can compensate them with those words, you can't go deposit words into a bank, but if you can compensate them monetarily as well, they love that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Again, if you've watched some of my previous podcasts or have read my training, you understand the ways of how to pay your affiliate manager and how to promote them with incentives. Now, lastly, it's opportunities for interaction with people. But before, people would send me to events, conferences, masterminds, workshops. It was really cool just to learn and be around like-minded people, but just that interaction is what started building that Rolodex of relationships. Again, this is the person that you want knowing everybody knows who they are, their name, they show up with you. You don't even have to work. You're at the bar, you're networking with your friends, while this person out there is generating business and revenue for you, right? That's exactly how exactly what I love doing for my clients is, hey, I know you're a captain, you're a maverick. This is not really your scene. You want to go talk to your other CEO buddies. Let me go out there and schmooze around and kind of build up the clientele base. So when I go home, I have a lot of people, they know who I am. They know that you trust me and they have absolute confidence in me to go through me and not have to keep hitting up you to get all the answers, right? They're essentially becoming an extension of you. So you can focus on the 10,000 per hour tasks while this person focuses on the $1,000 to $5,000 per tasks, right? And everybody else is got hourly. But at the same time, this is ultimately an hourly role. You can take the hours and reverse engineer it into a more salary base if you want, but it is a base plus commissions incentive. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I have a previous podcast on how to structure your pay for your affiliate manager. Today is all about the role, okay? And what's really exciting about Predictive Index is hopefully that's it. That's my profile in a nutshell. What's really cool is about Predictive Index is if you take your PI, they will actually do a meeting with you and this person to tell you how you guys will work together. Things to look out for, things to lean in on, and it's really good for management to someone in this role and having that clear understanding between the two. Again, it's more important. It's most important not to do this through the hiring process. Is once they are hired to go through this, so it can really kind of cut through a lot of the nonsense, get straight to here are my weaknesses, here are my strengths, and here's how we need to work together. Okay. Now, a lot of the times people just try to find someone in their business to take on this role. And as you can see, it takes a very specific type of person. And if you're shooting in the dark, reaching into a magic bag and pulling out the first thing that your hand touches, it may not be the best fit. I've trained people like that. Sometimes it works, but in the end, there is some type of conflict. I believe, after reading through this even more thoroughly with you guys listening in, I understand that I have to bring on someone like this to bring out, to hire more and more of these types of people in my business to start creating more of a fulfillment house for this role, right? It'll make it easier for me to train them. It'll get them the more in tune with the job. They're going to stick longer. They're going to love it longer. You're going to love it longer. This is how we hire the right people for this role, okay? Now, I have never done a detailed kind of walkthrough of my predictive index as well as what went into mine, but I want you guys to come into my world so you understand what it truly takes for someone to do a phenomenal job for you, why I charge what I charge for my clients to do what I do for them. This role can bring in an extra $25, $50, $100,000 for you per month when you're paying this person either a 1x, 2x of what you're making, meaning you're making a 4 to 6 to even 8x on this opportunity. So take the time, find the right people, look for these type of skill sets. I'll be including some of this in the description below so you guys have a little bit more detail to work off of. But at the end of the day, hopefully this was helpful. Check out Predictive Index. If you need a referral there, reach out to me personally. You can DM me on Facebook, reach out to my socials. Hit us up on theaffiliateincubator.com. Submit a contact form if you need to. I'm always here to connect people. I don't charge people for that stuff. I'd really just like to make right connections because I know if I can create wins for you, we're eventually going to work together again at a much deeper and a lot higher profitability level. And to me, that's where I want to go with my business. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Hope this was incredibly valuable. Remember to like, subscribe. If you'd like to get a free download, that can also be found on our website as well. It's our free winning webinar formula. After thousands of webinars, if you're wanting to know what works with live webinars versus automated webinars, this is the perfect download for you. So go check that out. Absolutely free. Thanks again so much for everyone tuning in. We're trying to get caught back up on all these podcast episodes. Again, I'm going through some restructuring on my team right now. I got to do a lot of training. So I'm really working hard to make sure we stay on top of this and build out my podcast team too so we can get regular content out to you. So thank you again so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys on the very next one. Weekly, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.